Okay, Ara, my movie room, my collection. We're not quite out of the winter yet, but plans for spring and summer. I do want to start a little bit more out of my TV shows. But I did manage to pick up a few extra movies I did not have yet. I cannot get to all of them this year. The ones I want, at least. Maybe pick up one or two new releases. I picked up Terrifier 1 and 2. Normally those kind of movies are too expensive, and there's still a couple of good horror movies I want but I don't have yet. I'm gonna have to pay up to get them, and I'm gonna hold off till next year because I want to get at least one or two TV shows come spring and summer, so I could get caught up a little bit by winter on them. And end of the year I'll try to get 90210, be the last one. Then there'll be like one or two smaller TV shows, and probably like one or two cartoons. And after that, I should be caught up with the TV shows, because that's where a lot of my extra money has been going. Plus I want to build out my Atari, I want to build out my music more. So it's not always going to be about the movies. Been watching the TV shows a lot lately, and I want to build that up a little bit. Maybe once a year I might get a new release. So for this year I picked up Terrifier. Did not expect to get it, but just recently started hearing people talk about it on Twitter. So Stephen King was talking about it, so I decided to check into it. Other than that, I don't really have much else for new movies. Still trying to stick with the old movies, and some of the old ones are going to be costing me more money to get, and I don't want to cut into my food and snacks too much. Otherwise, at the end of the month, I'm going to be stuck eating the wood, and wood ain't very tasty, so you do want to have chips, you want to have cookies at the end of the month. A lot better than eating wood. So, plus, if you're putting too much into your collection, sometimes you have to pay up on the shipping, and it's going to happen with the rare movies. And if I'm trying to complete a certain set, I'm going to have to pay up to get a certain number off eBay. Sometimes on TV shows I might have to pay up a little bit, but I'll try to get at least one or two TV shows this year, and at the end of the year I'll get one more. So that'll be 3 TV shows. I should be caught up with the big ones. The last big one I picked up was Heartland. Just started watching that a little bit. Not a great show, but it's good to have in the collection. And next year I'll come back into Dolly Parton, I'll come back into my music, and I'll come back into my games a little bit. So, and then maybe I'll come back into the movies after. So it's always a little something I'll pick up, but it depends. If it's overpriced, then I cannot get it. If it's too new, then I'll have to push it back to when I can afford to get it. So it's always a struggle, but as long as I maintain a good balance with my meal, then I should get something coming in, which is a goal, to get my list all made up for at least a couple months, so I know what I'm doing in here, so my head is not going spinning around like in The Exorcist. Well, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to get that, I need to get that. You go crazy. So if you have a list, you go by a list, and you kind of figure things out bit by bit. But a loan will help, but if you cannot work and you cannot pay that back, then you're kind of screwed. I have an option of going back to school, doing my studies again, but for that I would have to pay up front, and it's kind of rough at old age. So anything extra I get for my meals, I put it into my collection, and it's always been like that. But things are getting more expensive, and that's the point where I'm at. So I still want to pick out some more older movies, but right now I want to switch over into some TV shows come spring and summer. But at least I got to add a few extra movies that I did not have yet. So can I get to them all? But at least get to a few of them, because I still want to go thrifting come warmer weather and just build out the collection a little bit at a time. And I still need to get 2 years in here. I think after that I'm going to start doing more on VHS. I'm going to start buying them myself. But I'll see what thrifting will have to offer. Maybe because eBay is too expensive for old VHS. But there's still some good titles there that I want to get. And I'll look for some backing for these shelves for this one probably, and the two up front in the warmer weather. Maybe look for a record player, and that's going to be the goal for this movie room. Maybe next year I'll get to go to Walmart and look for at least one, maybe 2 new releases. Other than that, I won't get that many new ones. Even the old ones are getting more expensive, but I do want to get the older ones first, especially the ones I have on my list. Or I keep pushing the lists back till I can afford to get them, because some of them are rare, they're discontinued, they're out of print, or eBay just puts too much money on shipping and I cannot afford it. Plus I do want to pick up on Dolly again next year. Probably won't get them this year because I do want to start on the TV shows. At least get 1 or 2, one in the spring, maybe 1 in the summer, and then winter I should get kind of cut up, at least with the big ones. And then there's going to be a couple of smaller TV shows and a couple of cartoons I could get next year. Pick and choose those when I need to add them. But 90210 is going to be the last one, probably at the end of the year, because I got already a little something on it. So picked up Goosebumps last year, so I got a fair bit on that. I picked up one really good lot for Goosebumps cartoons, or they're not cartoons, but they're kind of kids movies and stuff like that. So I put them in the cartoons. Disney VHS is over there, and I'm not going to label things in here because I don't really need to do that. Just giving you guys a heads up a little bit what I'm trying to do in here. I don't mind if you guys give me titles, but doesn't matter. I'm going to pick them up all the time. Maybe once in a blue moon I could get a little something that you guys are mentioning, but mostly I have my own list. That's what I stick with. Unless it's something like a good title that I come across and I might be able to find it for a little bit cheaper than normal, then I might pick it up. But usually newer titles, they got more on shipping, and some of these older ones, they might have more on shipping, so I have to be careful with those and try to get the ones I can first. But I did manage to add a few more movies into my collection that I normally would have had. So I got to boost up my movies a little bit, boost up my CDs and games a little bit. Been trying to boost up my Atari over the past couple of months, so, and my music, so I haven't been doing much for my movies, and always something's gonna fall behind. But as long as my food and snacks hold up and I'm not eating ramen and hot dogs, then I could try to get something extra coming in. But if you're buying too much and then you're stuck eating ramen and hot dogs, then you might not have a good day. So you have to try to balance out your meal. Have a good evening, good day, and anything in here just a little extra. So VHS is a little bit extra for me, and whatever else I could add after this, I'll try to pick a little something up. Because a lot of it I don't have yet, and I probably won't get to all of it. So I do probably need a good year or 2 in here to get caught up with some of it. So, but just slowly add bits and pieces, and that's going to be the plan. Thanks for watching.